I'm here in Dresden, Germany, with FIM missionary Mindy Boyd. Mindy, great to be with you. We've enjoyed our visit and looking forward to hearing a little bit more about your ministry and your calling and the people of Germany. But probably want to start with where we are and kind of in the heart of Dresden, and maybe a little bit about the surroundings that we're in.
Right. We're in Dresden, which is actually a city, even though our surroundings are pretty green right now. We're in the middle of the Great Garden, which is basically the central park of Dresden. And we're standing in front of the palace, which was the summer home for August the Great. And this is where he spent his summers. And this is really close to my home, so I get to come here and go running and spend time with my friends, and it's a nice place to just relax and get some beauty.
So I'm a Brooklyn city boy, so I grew up in New York City. This is a very different kind of city than kind of the urban congestion that we might think of. It's a city, but there's it's quite easy to get around. It's not super congested. It's really a beautiful place. Lots of great bakeries and things to do, and music and culture, and a pretty special place to be, right?
Yeah, I love it. I'm so grateful that I get to live here and experience all of the culture and the beauty of this city. It really is an amazing city.
So in your teen years, the Lord called you into missions, and later and you pursued that. And about 10 years ago, you came here to Germany, and you've been here for 9 or 10 years. Just tell us a little bit about how the Lord, about your calling and burden for the people of Germany, and really what it's like in terms of ministry. What are the ministry needs here in the hearts of the people whom you are serving here in Germany?
Sure. Since I was 15, I wanted to be doing missions, and I wanted to be living overseas. And it took a long kind of roundabout way to get here, but in 2005, I was on a missions trip to Hungary, and I met FIM missionaries Craig and Debbie Bogart, and they, for several years, were twisting my arm to get me to come and work with them in Germany, which finally worked out. And I came to visit them several times, and during those trips, visiting their church and visiting them and seeing their ministry and getting to know the people in that church in Schkeuditz, which is where I was for 7 years before I came to Dresden, I just fell in love with the culture and the people, and the Lord just gave me a heart for them and the desire for them to know Christ. Because this, where we are here in Eastern Germany, in Saxony particularly, it's considered. There was a study done in 2005, I think. Chicago University did a study and determined that this region is one of the most atheistic regions of the world. And so it's not like you have, my colleague was explaining it recently, that you're in India where there are Hindus, or in other parts, where in Papua New Guinea where there's animists. You're here in Germany where the people are nothing. There is no belief in any kind of God, and so it's an incredible opportunity to just live life alongside of them and get to know them and to be able to share Christ with them in the very natural context of relationship.
So in what was the heart of the Reformation, there's a statue of Martin Luther right in downtown Dresden. We just were there a while ago, and what was the heart of the Reformation is now a nation where very few people have any spiritual heart. Tremendous need for sharing the gospel.
Absolutely. And it is a very, very slow process, because they're also very skeptical and closed to any idea or anyone that's trying to change their understanding of that or their belief system, or try to convert them in any way. So you have to be very patient and be willing to put in the time of building relationships where they trust you and are wanting to share life with you. And in doing so, that's where you have the opportunities to explain the hope that you have in Christ through going through suffering, or when you experience different things that they are also experiencing, and it really is about doing life with them.
And so for Mindy, whether it's your music ministry, your counseling ministry, relationships, sharing the Lord in a church plant here in Dresden, working with other missionaries from other mission agencies to partner together to share the gospel. Thanks so much, Mindy. Thanks for listening to our testimony with Mindy Boyd, FIM missionary. You can learn more about Mindy's ministry at www.fim.org.